Alright, the purpose of this video is to show you, it's just a demonstration of how to work through finding your unit rise, your unit run, and your adjusted bottom step for a set of stairs based on your total rise and based on your total run. I may have to scroll up and down on this page a little bit to show you what I'm talking about, but I always do an example on the board, but a lot of you guys forget it. So I'm going to give you another demonstration here. That way I don't have to keep doing the same demonstration over and over. Right here is the landing. The landing is the second story that we're trying to get to, be it the second story of a house, be it a deck or a porch, whatever we're trying to get to. Down here is our first story or floor or ground or whatever you want to call that. So our total rise is right here, and it's marked by the 30 3/4 dimension right here. So it goes from here up to the top of the landing. Our total run goes from this arrow here all the way over to where our steps are going to end. Alright, and then we got a tread thickness of 1.5 inches. That would be 2x material. Typical tread thickness can vary anywhere from 1 inch to 1 1/4 to 1 1/2. Alright, so let's get started. What is the total rise? This one's easy. All you have to do is literally read it right off the screen, 30 3/4. If that's in feet and inches, convert it all to inches. That is literally all you have to do. Step number 2, alright, or question number 2, how many steps would be needed? To figure this out, all you have to do is take the total rise, which we got in the first answer, 30 3/4, and divide that by 7, which gives us 4.39. You cannot have 0.39 of a step. So what we do is take that little bit of leftover and spread that out amongst every step. Instead of making every step a 7-inch rise, it will turn into 7 and something else. So really what I did right here was I struck through 0.39 and we end up with just 4 steps. Question number 3 says, what is the unit rise? Now if you'll notice something, all of these questions build on, the answer builds on one another. So you need to write down, as you're going through this, your numbers, alright, so that you can keep reusing them, because you'll forget them otherwise. So what is the unit rise? It says 30 3/4. So we take the answer from number 1, right here, 30 3/4, divided by the answer from number 2, which is 4 steps, and that gives us 7.68. Most people have no idea where 0.68 is at on a tape measure. If I were to tell you to mark something at 7.68 on a tape measure, you wouldn't have any idea. So in order to turn that 0.68 into something usable from a tape measure, we take just the 0.68, we multiply that by 16 because an inch is broken down into 16 parts, and we get 10.88. You do not need the 0.88, and you just put 10 over the 16 and you get, and that will reduce down to 5/8. You could also call 10.88 is close to 11, and so you could call this 11/16 if you wanted to, but for right now we're just going to say that it's 7 5/8. So right here is our answer. Alright, so now we have our total rise, the number of steps, and our unit rise. Now we make it to our unit run. The unit run, when it asks for the, or not the unit run, but the total run, when it asks for the total run, all we have to do is look at our picture up here again, and we got 36 inches. Yet again, if that's in feet and inches, just convert it all to inches. Question number 5, what is the unit run? There is 2 different ways to do this, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on this. If up here in this picture, there is no way to know, but for this particular picture, we're gonna assume that the landing is the last step. So the last step would end about here, and you would step up onto the landing as your last step. The other way that this could go is that the step is flush or equal to the landing right here. Alright? So to get that, we're going to scroll back down. 36 inches, alright, which is our total run, right here. We had that in our last, in the question number 4, divided by it, and here's where we gotta go back to. There's a reason I tell you to write this down. Divided by the number of steps minus 1. Well, we figured out how many steps we needed back up here in number 2. So we're going to bring that down 4 steps minus 1 because we're using the last step as our landing. So that's really 4 minus 1 is 3. So we're going to go over here, 36 divided by 3 steps. That gives us a unit run of 12 inches. Alright. Last but not least is the adjusted bottom step. You have to adjust your bottom step for the tread thickness. So, yet again, there's a reason I tell you to write this stuff down. Up here at number 3, we take our unit rise, which is 7 5/8, minus our tread thickness, which is up here in the picture, and we get 6 1/8. All right, and if you can't, do that in your head, or on a calculate, 7 minus 1 is 6. 5/8 minus a half, I happen to know that 5/8 is 1/8 over a half, so we get 6 1/8. All right, so write down all of your answers and what your answers are. Right here, 30 3/4 inches doesn't tell me anything if I don't know that that's my total rise. 4.39 doesn't tell me anything if I don't know that that's my steps. Does everybody understand this? All right, so write down your steps and write down what it is, because you're going to keep using these numbers over and over, and you will forget them after you've been through 6 different steps. All right.